Hi, this is Hillary Ettinson with parkbench.com, and I am here with Mom and Seth from Woodstock Training Company in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Thank you so much for being here.
It's our pleasure.
Now, I have to get started with the first question. Everyone calls you Mom. How did that start?
That's a very long question, but the shortest version is that Seth and I are partners. Okay, Mom and son. You can say John Smith and son. How are you going to say Gladys Glass and son?
Mm-hmm.
That's difficult. And what does he call me? Does he call me Mom? Does he call me Gladys? Does he call me Mrs. Glass? I'm Mom.
Your mom.
To everybody.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's to everybody. Everyone knows you as Mom.
I am Mom.
So, tell me about the store. How did you get the idea to start it? You know, why right here?
Well, we kind of got into the whole music scene. You know, we were just used to go to shows all the time and stuff like that, and really enjoyed the artwork. And just like any fan of any band, you want to possess memorabilia and merchandise and whatever. And so we used to go to stores, kind of like it, but we weren't that crazy about those kinds of stores. They were a little shady.
Yeah.
You know, they sold a lot of drug paraphernalia, stuff like that. So we kind of got it in our head, why can't we start something like that ourselves? And it was just kind of like, yeah, why can't we?
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of, we did some, well, this is pre-internet.
Yes.
So we had to go through magazines and stuff like that and look in classifieds in magazines, you know, like Rolling Stone and Relics and stuff like that. And make a lot of phone calls.
And then every week we would get in Newark, get on a plane, either fly on Virgin Atlantic to England, meet the guys and carry material back, come back, and we would leave on a Tuesday, come back on a Wednesday, spend a couple of days, and then the next Tuesday go out to California and do the same thing, because there was no merchandising at that time.
Right.
And so we met the artists, and we would go to shows and support a lot of the people who were actually making artwork and things like that. And we really had the upstairs of this building to set up headquarters. This was a medical facility. I'm an RN, my husband's a dermatologist, Seth was going to medical school, and we became members of Safe Place, and a really good place for people to enjoy the arts and still be very safe.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, I wish more people knew really what you have in here. I mean, because this place is an institution. Everybody in Cherry Hill, you drive down Route 70, you know the building, but I wish more people knew the treasures that are in here, that it's, you know, it's really just music lovers, collectors, that, like you said, I wish a lot of these stores are kind of known for things that maybe they shouldn't be known for.
Well, I think our intention from the very beginning was more to cater to, I guess, a lifestyle rather than just simply somebody who enjoys music, but the kinds of things that go along with it. Mm-hmm. So, sure, we got the t-shirts and posters and all of that, you know, you would expect to find, but we also have, you know, fragrant oils and incenses, and we got a collection of beads that people enjoy making their own jewelry from.
And we have a collection of wonderfully talented people that we can showcase by way of having free lawn concerts and showcasing or even talking about their art. We have had the ability to give some classes like in wire wrapping and jewelry design right here in the facility. And Seth and I have participated in, Guy is here, in participating in glass blowing, and we've we certainly participated early days when Salem College got started with their programs and encouraged many people to go in, not only to the scientific glass community, but also into the artistic glass community. And it's just blossomed into a wonderful place where people have been able to make a living. And that, I guess, is part of what we do, is to mentor people, especially younger people. In today's society, it's very, very hard for them to find their way, especially not being involved in a lot of things. And we really, this online, everything online, you lose some of the humanity and the personal contacts. And so here we are as a family.
I mean, I think using the word family is a perfect description, knowing that, you're everyone's mom. When you first got started and you talked about going over to England and to San Francisco, were there certain items that you were usually on the search for?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Stickers, posters, incense, artwork, and also some of our involvement went towards the Woodstock events, where we worked as medical people and personnel, keeping people safe and all of that. And
At the Woodstock concerts?
Yes.
I was actually at one of them. I worked at the one in '99 that burned down.
Ooh.
Yeah, there was some stories from that, but
Made it out alive. Very
We
good.
did the 20th, we did the 25th, the 30th, which was a simulcast, and actually sponsored by the Philadelphia YSP.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And we did a simulcast here on the lawn where they got free water.
Which they definitely did not have at the one that I was at.
we saw the lineup, and it wasn't exactly where we wanted to be, because we worked in the freak out tents, we worked with Wavy Gravy, and we worked on the medical team. So it would be a very hard thing for us to do, because we were a little out of the loop with the kinds of materials these people were getting into, and I wouldn't know how to handle it because I was older already.
I think it just doesn't work when you try to corporatize an event.
It went against the original
Well, yes and no. Yes, in the sense that, no, in the sense that it turned violent.
Correct.
And that it was so corporatized. But yes, in the sense that the original one was an indication of, it was a demonstration of youth culture and the direction of youth and it at that particular time. And there was a common enemy. They had the Vietnam War, and things like that. So Woodstock 99 was also kind of an indication of the direction of youth in its time, and it was alienation and anger and this general feeling of being exploited. And they responded. I don't condone what they did, but I'm not surprised in the least at the reaction. Didn't exactly expect things to be set on fire and things of that nature. But when you look at it, you kind of shake your head and say, I guess
I can see how
it's not a big shock. Again, for like $6 for a bottle of water and 100 degrees. That's
lack of there was a lack of facilities.
Exactly, and that's how revolutions begin, and they begin in the summer.
However, when you walk in the door here in Woodstock, maybe because we're sort of not on the main street and sort of not in a touristy area, we're not a curiosity, but people come here and are welcomed as a member of our family, and we support each other, we care for each other. Customers will help each other find things.
Oh, I love that.
Sometimes we forget where things are.
Yeah, and I tell you, even when we got our last kitten, people would come in and they would help us to socialize old Maru. They would come, and even if he was sleeping, they would pick him up because we asked him to. And yeah, you have to hold him because he's got to know everybody, and he does. And that's the way Woodstock is. Everybody is welcome. Everybody is wanted, and it's just worked out very well. We never have been pushed to having or thinking that being out of your head is a good thing.
Photo bomb.
Yes, Maru.
Well,
Hi, do you have anything to say?
we have the advantage that we're a destination. It's not the kind of place a person impulsively wanders in. I mean, that's just the nature of Route 70 in Cherry Hill, that you kind of have to know, you have to be paying attention. You have to know what you're doing and know where you're going. And
You want to be here.
to get from one side of Route 70 to the other is such a process.
Yep. And if you don't know where you're going, you see it on the other side, and
Exactly.
it's like, well, how do I get there?
And
You can't make a left.
and if you miss us, then getting back here is a
is
process.
a whole another process.
So we're a destination. So the people that come here, they want to be here. They're not just impulsively popping in, just curious about what we're about. They actually are here for some purpose. So our existence is a bit insular, compared to many stores that were or are like us, because we're not in a tourist spot. We're in suburbia, New Jersey suburbia, not exactly
Yeah,
a hot spot for tourists.
You can wander through Collingswood and go from store to store and this kind of stuff. And I was asked if I wanted to participate in some of these places, and I said no. It is what it is. This is where we are. This is where we want to be. And I don't think I want to be anywhere else except here.
Plus, we already had the building, so to start hunting for locations.
It was funny when we finally decided to take over the whole building, and my husband and I ran the dermatology practice, and I had crossed over as a fine artist RN. I got involved in skincare and that. My husband's a cosmetic chemist as well as a dermatologist, and we were doing an interesting thing both medically and artistically, and then it became insurance. And then Woodstock loomed in our mind as another kind of arena that the family could go and find true happiness in diverse people of all ages, from cradle to grave. We have no age group that solely wants to come here. We have little kids who know the Grateful Dead songs better than I do.
Well, hopefully they have cool parents who are teaching them.
Yeah, it seems to be. We're seeing the next. Well, it's actually the next generation.
Yep.
Because we've been here for 33 years. So the children that we saw are having children, and even to some extent, some of those are having children.
And great-grandchildren.
Well, you have the grandparents who actually toured with the Dead,
Exactly.
see those concerts, raised their kids to appreciate the Dead, and now, because they love it, they're teaching their kids.
Exactly.
And since they're still performing, obviously not all the original members,
Sure.
but the music is still going,
It's still
that
there.
you have this new audience.
Well, and the internet, again, has provided opportunity. Well, the Grateful Dead have been about a tradition of tradition. And they brought back music that either was completely gone from the face of it or completely forgotten. Traditional folk songs that nobody even knows who wrote them, playing them for, which at the time were young people. We're talking teens to 20s, and they would never have had an opportunity to hear some of these songs. Yeah, and it opened up a Pandora's box
Like,
of Iko Iko. Who wrote Iko Iko?
Nobody
Nobody
it's
knows.
unknown.
Right,
It's
exactly.
Everyone knows, who they like singing it.
Exactly.
But no one knows where it originated.
Going down the road feeling bad, songs like that. Like
Some young fella came in just the other day, and he designed a card, and his favorite album is Old and in the Way.
Right.
So
And those were
he's like 16 years old.
Really?
Yeah. Now, what's even more interesting, as we said many years ago when we first got involved in classic rock, is that this is what, and the art, this is what our generation is going to leave forever. It's going to be the signature of our decades and our millenniums and stuff, just like Bach, Beethoven, and you look at the Beatles and all of these kinds of longevity of music and that. And what's even more interesting is we here at Woodstock have the opportunity to have a little bit of grass. The only grass we have here at Woodstock is on our lawn, and we do open the lawn up to different bands to come to play music, some original, some covers. We've had some members of the Dead actually come here. A fellow who runs Grateful Dead Hour, he came here and sang some of his original songs.
That's awesome.
And of course we adopted a piano. One of our pledges is to try to get people to adopt pianos and not have them throw out. And people will come and just sit and play piano, or they'll bring a guitar in on Sundays and be kind of an open house, whatever they want to do. So the place is kind of for our family.
Mm-hmm. You talked about, you originally got started, you loved going to concerts, and it's always hard to pick, but do you have a favorite concert that you ever saw?
You know what, there probably was. We were asked to participate with Jerry Garcia in a special project, which was ART, which was Artist Rights, and they put on a concert there that was a very small concert, and I think it was the last time we had a chance to see, was it Cipriano?
John Cipollino.
Cipollino. He was quite ill, and he got up and performed, and it was a very special time for all of us. All of the artists were there, all of our friends. Rick Griffin was alive and doing well, and Stanley Mouse and Alton Kelly, and all of these artists were there, and it was a conglomerate of music and art, and
like you just
for
felt
us
being there, thinking like this is something special going on right now.
Oh,
It was something, and all of the artists brought their original paintings that the album covers were made from, and they lined them up in the hall, and we were able to see them. And then when they were reduced, and it was a special thing to try to get the licensing so that the artists could change some of their graphics and be able to get something from their artwork and the notoriety that they so deserved at that point. So it was a very, very special time for us to be there in a relaxed, not excited, kind of a little special gathering.
Is there, kind of going off that a little bit, I like to ask people, who would you just do anything to see, alive or dead? Someone who should be alive that maybe they passed away too early. But what I'm curious about is there a group that, maybe they broke up and the members are still alive and everything, but oh my God, if they got back together for a tour, like, I have to be there.
Well, as far as Time Machine shows are concerned, I would have liked to have seen the original lineup of the Blues Brothers.
Ooh, that nice.
They put together a hell of a band. You look at the lineup in that band, every one of those session players, when you look at the pedigree, between Booker T and the MGs and all the other albums that each one of those guys have been in, and as well as tours. I probably would like to have brought back the original lineup of the Blues Brothers. If, of course, this would require very, resurrection.
We can get a TARDIS.
Right. So, because I believe not only is Belushi, of course, gone, but I think Donald Dunn, has passed away. If I remember correctly, I don't. Oh, and Matt Murphy has passed away. So I mean, I'm beginning to understand. My parents and grandparents, when they watch movies, all they do is, "Oh, that guy's dead and that guy's dead," and it's like, and I'm like, why?
And then it hits
such a downer, and then you realize when you watch a movie like the Blues Brothers, when the movie. How many people in that John Candy's passed away?
Yeah. Oh, that's my brother raised me on the Blues Brothers, and his favorite of all time is John Candy. So to him, it's...
that was, so...
we had another visitor.
Listen, excuse me, we have to have a non-disclosure signed. He's in the middle of an opus, and we're afraid of intellectual property.
We had a little cat. He wanted to come in and join us for a minute.
2 notes at a time. So
He's writing.
That would be
if I had to pick one, time machine show, that would probably be it. Yeah, because I mean, their live album is so amazing and perfect, and every track is just so, and the band was so tight. That's probably,
that would be yours.
Yeah.
What about you, Mom?
It's
the list is endless.
It's endless.
Well, what about now that it's, the members are, so for instance, I love Pink Floyd. They are not getting back together. But to me, it's like, if something happened and they're like, we're going to do a reunion tour, to me, it's like, I don't care how much that ticket costs. I don't care if I have to eat peanut butter and jelly for a year.
Sure.
Like, I have to be at that show.
It's really an interesting thing for me at this point in my life. In fact, I even have some tickets that I'm going to offer you that are our tickets. I think it's Wakeman that I have.
So
I think the 29th.
So if you're a
I was going
progressive
to
rock
offer.
fan,
Yes.
I was going to offer you our tickets because I get tickets all the time, and they asked me to come.
I saw some, on the post, Indigo, you recently had some Indigo Girls tickets.
Yes.
And
We give away our tickets.
Judy Collins.
Because this is where I want to be, and the bands that I want to see are like Sunflower Jubilee. I want to see our local people. I want to see them perform. I don't want to go to a concert. I only want to see them here. We recently got dragged out to see a play at the Philadelphia Play and Players because I promised the writer and musical director that if he ever produced a play, I have to be there, because I was on the board when he was teaching kids theater and stuff like that. So he gets a phone call and he says, well, Rick is sending a car for you. We have to go into Philly this weekend because you promised. I said, I don't want to go. I want to be here. I actually had to close Woodstock this weekend to go in to see his play, and I hadn't been out anywhere for years.
And you had to go see.
Oh yeah, no.
My God!
I'm glad we did.
Fantastic.
See, it was worth it.
It was worth it. But the music that we see, I encourage all of these younger people and older people, because we had psychedelic elders playing for 100 years. We had an improv group that I've had several times here on the lawn. I have the best time, people sitting and enjoying, no money, no nothing. They're not even allowed to eat on the lawn. There's no food, no water. Any picnic baskets have to go in the car so kids can't get into it. And if people are having a problem with anything, it's not there for them to be tempted. But they better as heck get up off their butts and dance with me.
Oh, I love that. So you have a lot of great memorabilia here. Is there, either years ago or now, that if you found something, because now there's so many things that you can find online. There's a way to search for it, but if there was something that it wasn't online, through word of mouth, you heard, oh my God, so and so has this piece, like I need to get my hands on that. Is there something where you're just like, that would be something so
For
cool?
us personally,
Yeah, not necessarily.
No.
But to you, you're like, you've seen it.
no. There is nothing that I would have to have like that.
Mhm.
But we just got a fella who had been ill for many years, is back in his studio carving wood. I have to have his artwork to sell to other people so that he will continue to produce. It's an encouragement to people to make things. Is there anything in particular that I need? Absolutely not.
I think over time you become less object oriented. You know, okay.
The celebrity aspect.
Yeah,
of it
you know,
starts to go away.
You become more into what is happening now and things that you enjoy now, even if they're temporary, because all things are. And you take more value in things that are fleeting, a moment, like going to a concert or whatever, as opposed to possessing the t-shirt for the concert or whatever. There was, perfect example, it was a Pink Floyd album that I saw, and it was like, I believe it was Atom Heart Mother, and it was pressed in pink vinyl.
We just had that.
All right, yeah. So now, if I was probably in my 20s or 30s,
You would
I must possess this.
Yep.
Even though I already have 3 different copies of Atom Heart Mother. It's like, I must possess this. You know, as time has gone by, I've become less focused on the objects. And it's like saying, you know, I'd rather somebody in their 20s or
get
30s
introduced to that now.
buy this, as opposed to grabbing it from, because, you know, we walk this earth for so long, and it's not whoever has the most toys wins. It's just whoever has gotten to play with the most toys,
Have
wins.
Possibility to have that great of a life.
Right. You don't have to own the toys,
Yeah.
you know, to enjoy them. So, yeah, you know, there is probably no item, you know, that I say, oh, I must possess this. I'm probably wrong.
You just wait. You know, tomorrow he'll get a call that like
something will pop up on eBay that I'll be
I
like,
guess
holy crap, I must possess this.
the greatest thing that comes my way, especially right now, is the delivery truck just dropped off a huge box of things that I can now offer to customers so that they will have a decent Christmas at a good price. We pre-ordered things, and oh my God, they're coming in. Guy just put a huge box there, and I know the minute I open it, people are going to know that it's been opened, and they won't get on hangers.
That's always been part of the fun of the business, is that we get to poke through the stuff.
Before
we get to look,
you get
we get to look through.
And then I say, do I really want to keep this shirt? Nah.
No, you're like, I'm good. I'm good.
I got another shirt. You know, but we get to go through the stuff, and we go through the websites, and we see all the new things, and we're like, we must possess these things so that we can offer them.
Yeah.
But we're still.
But the 20-year-old in you is just like, oh man, if I were 20 right now.
We're still fans.
Yeah.
You know, we would be more consumers of what we sell. You know, I suppose if I was shopping in a store like this, I would probably, you know, I spend a lot probably if I encountered a store like this, you know, in my time. This would be a hangout for me, definitely.
But many years ago, when my husband and I were doing more of the medical things, I had the opportunity of doing some skincare and things like that. And my friend had been working with Bob Guccione on some projects, and when he left the country and set up in another country, I took over some of some of his clients, one of them being Bob Guccion's son, and I got to see and have an influence, I think, maybe, in seeing Spin Magazine at the beginning, and
Ooh.
I guess I kind of like being in the heart of something, being involved in some of the projects that went on. I guess that's why the little concert that we went to was so important, because we were in the heart of all of these creative, wonderful people. And if you look around, there's so many wonderful, creative people right here, right in our community, and some of them don't even realize that they're creative. And we hope that we open up an opportunity to have somebody to mentor people,
Right. And
to
spread
look
the
at them,
word
that they have certain things. That's why our bead collection, we don't have a lot of jewelry, okay, but we have a lot of beads, and we encourage people to look at their own aesthetic and to be able to create something and to pass that on as a gift or something like that, that they themselves have put something into it, not just buying something. And I also encourage those people who have some talent to work at their craft every day. I think I touch color and I paint every single day. I do something that would be somewhat creative. And every time we send a package out to say thank you to our customer, I paint a card for them.
That is so
They
sweet.
get a gift card that is personally made by me, that is a watercolor. I was an abstract expressionist and then looked at Chinese art and said, oh my God, you know what? The yin and yang of what they do, the biggest mountain is just as equal to the little fly, and it made me look at art in a very different kind of a way, just as a little concert on the lawn or a big concert at a stadium, there's a melt.